For the last 10 years, I've been focused on stacking Bitcoin. That's been my primary motivation as an investor is stacking Bitcoin and focused on the Bitcoin units and making the Bitcoin units go up. So I actually don't have a lot of experience trying to beat an index. And I don't have any heartache about like Bitcoin performance versus the S&P 500 performance. That's never really been a paradigm that's been in my mind because for the last 10 years, I've been extremely like ideologically motivated to stack Bitcoin, both for myself as a person, but also for society, because I think fiat money is like the number one problem in the world, and the corruption, like just the soft corruption that it causes and miss signals that it sends throughout all human to human interaction. When you have a small group of people that's able to create these dollar units out of just decisions and numbers on a computer, and then you have lots of people going to work every single day and trading their finite time and labor for these units that are effectively infinite, that's just a problem. That creates a bunch of problems in society. So my name is Brian. I talk to affluent 35 to 55-year-olds about incorporating Bitcoin into their personal finances. And through doing this and through talking to thousands of people over the years, both online and in person, I ran the largest Bitcoin meetup on the West Coast for a while in Anaheim, California. Through having all of these conversations, I've been practicing recently pulling back on opening with the ideology of Bitcoin and opening with more of a pragmatic numbers-based approach. And so that's the context. Like that's setting the table on this. Now I want to hit a couple different things. If you are someone who is trying to beat an index, there's two things. One, I fundamentally like have a little bit of a corporate hangover still of like I don't really like companies all that much. Like what is a company? What actually is a company? A company is a group of people that are inefficient, filled with politics, and half of them can't even explain how their company makes money. And so and then you're on this like quarter to quarter hamster wheel of having to put out press releases to make the stock ticker do a certain thing. So the gamesmanship mechanics of all of that, and then you lay on top of that the underlying unit that they're using is fiat money, which is screwed up in general to begin with. So like that's one thing. And then another thing is like, so Peter Thiel said it, I think it was Bitcoin 2022. He was just like, look, the stock market is quasi-government controlled. And he said that on stage in front of it. And I was just like, wow, like, yeah. And then Elon Musk on a recent episode of All In podcast, I don't listen to that all the time. It was just a short that pops up, and he was just talking about how like corporate governance at a lot of these companies across the whole S&P 500 almost rolls all the way back to only 2 consulting firms. So the reason why like every major corporation in America like feels the same is just because it is the same. And there's not really like, I don't get a great personal feeling on like using the S&P 500 as my index. Like I just don't, I still have this ideological bent that I can't get rid of. And so that's some just free flowing thoughts about the S&P 500. But say you do like holding the S&P 500. Or it's like you don't like it, but you're just like, look, it is the core standard thing. Like a lot of people use the S&P 500 instead of holding dollars. Totally. Absolutely. Because fiat money doesn't work, people use the S&P 500. Index funds, passive index investing is easier than stock picking because stock picking is hard. Most active mutual funds don't beat the index. Totally, 100%. Not arguing with any of that. That is all fact-based table setting as well. Here's the new part. So up till now, right? Like let's call it the last 10 years, you could be an ideological Bitcoin buyer and your CAGR was crushing every compound annual growth rate was crushing every other index. So it almost didn't matter. Like it didn't matter if you were buying Bitcoin because it was the best performing asset of the last decade, or if you're buying it because, F the central bankers. Like both of those outcomes were the same, that you overperformed the index. Okay, so Now that we're in a new world and I'm stepping back and really zooming back, and for myself, I have different personal goals now. We've talked about how I'm like focused on income investing now instead of pure growth investing. So that's a little bit something that's new. But also, even it's just new, like Bitcoin is a large asset now. It's being talked about in the highest walls of power inside the world. And so it's not bad to think about Bitcoin versus the index. It's not bad. Here's something new to think about. This is an exercise that everyone can do. Everyone can do this exercise. Take whatever your index is, use ChatGPT, use Grok, use Claude, use your AI of choice, type into the chatbot and say, what mix of Bitcoin and STRC? So STRC is the preferred dividend share from Strategy, pays 10.5% annual right now, paid out monthly. So Stretch from MicroStrategy is attacking government money markets, okay? I'm going to come back to that in a second. But just for the exercise, just ask the AI what combined percentage of Bitcoin for growth and Stretch for dividend income, what combined percentage would I need to match the S&P 500 growth and volatility and income? Because what we've realized, James from our private channel Discord came up with this, and what it illustrates is, and you all should join in there, by the way. Like we're collecting the best minds on the internet for Bitcoin personal finance, okay? And we have a group chat. It's a couple bucks a month. Cancel anytime. Like click join next to the subscribe button. Join us in there for real. And everyone who's booked a one-on-one call, genuinely thankful to you. And I have enjoyed talking to you so much about this because exactly at the heart of this mix of ideological investing and like straight up raw numbers beating the index investing, Bitcoiners have a chance to be the most influential people in the world. Like I fundamentally believe that. So, but let me finish the exercise and I'll go more into that. The exercise is ask the AI, what combination of Bitcoin plus Stretch do I need to match the index? Because effectively, the realization is you can recreate, using Bitcoin and Bitcoin-related products, you can recreate any index that you want. So the S&P 500 has a specific flavor of growth, right? The NASDAQ has a specific flavor of growth. The Russell 2000 has a specific flavor of growth. You can recreate any of those by just pairing together different ratios of Bitcoin and Stretch now. And that keeps the money, that keeps the influence, that keeps the juice inside the Bitcoin ecosystem. So again, from the ideology side, you just heard it come out in my voice of it's a competition. The world is a competition for liquidity. The world is a competition for attention and liquidity and investment dollars. People choose these indexes, I think, a lot of times, not because they necessarily love them. Like they don't love all the stock names in there. They do it because holding fiat money is bad. And they're funneling money into it because everyone else is funneling money into it. And it just is this like safe alternative thing, or like mostly safe alternative thing instead of holding dollars. Okay. You can recreate that same growth pattern. You can recreate any footprint for any period of your life to match any index with Bitcoin and Stretch now. Okay. And so that can be relayed with pure numbers, stripping all the ideology out of it, or that can be relayed with turning up the ideology all the way to 100. Because look, here's that side of it. Here's the ideology all the way up to 100. Bitcoin, MicroStrategy is willing to put their money where their mouth is and pay you more than government treasuries are. So here's the thing, here's the Thanksgiving orange pill down the family version. It's like, look, hey, I've heard that you don't like Bitcoin volatility all these years. I've heard that you think I'm crazy and whatever. Look, here's the deal. Bitcoin company, the largest Bitcoin treasury company in the world, top 200 largest companies in the United States, by the way, will pay you 10.5% straight up. And they have better credit than the United States government. Now, if the person that you're talking to is really in the weeds and they're like, well, no, actually, like the Moody's rates the government at blah, 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 and they root strategy a B minus. Okay, well, at least that's really interesting. If that's genuinely your Thanksgiving family, I absolutely love that for you. I absolutely love that for you because that is awesome and exciting. Purely by how much money they're willing to pay you, that is what strategy is saying that our credit is better than the United States government's. We can pay you better. Our money is better here. Our money is better. It's just so obvious that the people holding Bitcoin are more like backed, like have better cards than treasury bills. And that message is seeping out into lots and lots and lots of different places right now. So the fact that you now have the most stable, non-volatile way to be Bitcoin adjacent on one ticker symbol, and the fact that you have regular, full volatility, high growth Bitcoin over here, and the fact that you can blend them at any ratio to recreate any flavor of investing index that you want, like the total addressable market of people that can hold Bitcoin now is way higher. Because we've already seen the amount of people that are interested in buying Bitcoin at the high volatility that it is with the high potential upside, but losing, all these annoying downturns that happen is not as many people as ideological Bitcoiners would like. And so this product is massive. It's massive in terms of like this is Bitcoin replacing fiat money in real time because Bitcoin backed credit pays higher than USA government backed credit. That fires me up. And it's like I can't shake this like ideological, feeling. If you made it all the way to the end, I think you would really enjoy being a channel member. It's a few bucks a month and you can cancel anytime. You can get members only live streams, join our private Discord chat for members of this channel. It's called the Bitcoin Personal Finance Think Tank. And so really trying to bring together people that are evolving the way that they incorporate Bitcoin into their personal finances. We have growth people, we have business owners, we've got real estate people, we've got people that go hard on dividend funds. And so it's a really good mix. Click join right next to the subscribe button and we'll see you on the next one.